If a pharaoh needed to protect their most beloved queens and children from ruthless thieves for eternity, where would they hide them? For centuries before the New Kingdom, Egyptian royalty built giant monuments. But structures like the Great Pyramid were impossible to miss, making them obvious targets for tomb robbers. To stop the looting, the strategy shifted to total secrecy. They selected a secluded gorge tucked away in the Theban hills, right next to the village where the tomb workers lived. The ancient Egyptians called this hidden gorge Taset Neferu. That translates to both the place of beauty and the place of the royal children. Above ground, the valley is a blinding, desolate stretch of rock, but hidden just beneath the sand, carved directly into the hillsides, lay a vibrant, bustling underworld. The valley's camouflage was a triumph of geography. It protected the necropolis for 3 millennia, keeping its secrets entirely intact until the first modern excavations began. In February 1903, Italian archaeologist Ernesto Schiaparelli found an entrance. He crawled through the darkness of a narrow, debris-filled corridor into tomb QV44, the resting place of Prince Kayamwaset. Inside the burial chamber, he found what tomb robbers had left behind. The original gold and precious artifacts were long gone, but the room wasn't empty. The underground space was completely clogged with over 40 wooden sarcophages, stacked almost to the ceiling. These burials date to the 25th and 26th dynasties, centuries after the original prince was interred. It proved the valley was an active site, with tombs being reopened and repurposed later on. Tomb 44 showed that the Valley of the Queens was an active, continually repurposed city of the dead. But Schiaparelli was still searching for a burial site that had survived intact. 1 year later, in 1904, his team found the valley's crown jewel, tomb QV66, belonging to Queen Nefertari. Nefertari was the favored great wife of Pharaoh Ramesses II, a woman so revered that he built entire temples in her honor. Her tomb contained over 5,200 square feet of intact, highly detailed polychrome art. The colors were still incredibly vibrant, highlighting the blush on her cheeks and the exact shape of her eyes. The layout of these walls functions as a technical manual. Every mural acts as a functional tool for navigating the afterlife. Looking closer, we see Nefertari playing Senet. The game symbolically mirrors the soul's strategic progression through the underworld. Specific chapters of the Book of the Dead, a collection of ancient Egyptian funerary texts, are physically mapped onto the tomb's architecture. They provided the exact magical formula she needed to bypass the terrifying genies guarding the kingdom of Osiris. Above it all is the astronomical ceiling, painted a deep, dark blue and covered in thousands of golden 5-pointed stars. It served as a final navigational compass, guiding her to paradise. This tomb was designed to act as a permanent conduit for the queen's soul, preserving her beauty in paint, while guiding her through the kingdom of Osiris. For over 3,000 years, it fulfilled its purpose in total silence. There is a deep paradox built into the Valley of the Queens. Opening these tombs to share their beauty with the world unleashed an invisible, microscopic enemy. The local geology is inherently unstable. Expanding clay layers, recurrent flash floods, and the crystallization of halite salt inside the rocks literally push the ancient painted plaster off the walls. Then comes the human impact. The cumulative humidity and carbon dioxide from the breath of tourists creates a chemical reaction. Over time, the moisture causes the ancient paint to flake and melt. To save the art, organizations like the Getty Conservation Institute launched massive interventions. They chemically stabilized the fragile plaster, installed advanced air circulation systems, and imposed strict 15-minute viewing limits to control the microclimate. The pharaoh's original plan to keep these tombs hidden ultimately failed, as the physical mummies and their gold were stolen. Yet the valley remains the place of beauty, surviving today not through ancient secrecy, but through a modern commitment to protect it.